Scorpio, taking a peek at what's going on in the astrology for you in the month of March, there's actually quite a bit of focus on your love life, as well as your creativity and passion. I see that many of you are really aligning with spiritual connections this month, as we have Mercury and the Sun coming together with Neptune in your Pisces 5th house of romance, as well as creativity. So you really could be finding new parts of yourself by connecting with your passions and having some really exciting things happen in your relationships. However, we do end off this month on a pretty profound note, maybe some sort of breakthrough or epiphany with the full moon lunar eclipse in your Libran 12th house of spirituality and your subconscious mind. There could be some sort of change or shift happening with your mental health around this time, and you can really expect things that have been hidden. If you're looking forward to this month's reading, then definitely be sure to hit like, subscribe, and the bell notification if you haven't done that already. That way you can always stay up to date with what's in the cards for you. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, hello and welcome. My name is Michael, and I utilize a tried and true method of combining tarot and Western or tropical astrology to intuit accurate monthly forecasts for your zodiac signs. For those of you who are ready for a deep dive and would like to book a personal reading or distance Reiki session with me, you can find a link for my website as well as all of my other social media accounts in the description of this video. The first couple of cards that just came out for you, Scorpio, were really interesting. I will keep shuffling in just a moment here, but we have the 10 of Cups and the 10 of Wands coming out reverse, and both of these together. And when I was really connecting to this energy and kind of thinking about the astrology as well, it feels like you are actually letting go of maybe some sort of expectation or tradition that has been placed on you. And this really does feel like it's actually connected to family, which is kind of interesting. I do know that we have Venus and Mars in your 4th house of home and family in the sign of Aquarius. And this is actually squaring off with Uranus in Taurus. And Taurus is your relationship sign. It is all about commitments and partnerships. And so what I'm really thinking is happening for you here is that maybe you're going through this cycle of recognizing how traditions that you learned from your upbringing apply to relationships, and maybe how it doesn't actually apply to you. And so you could be sorting through these sort of belief systems, and it really does feel like there is something burdensome or heavy that you are releasing. And again, this does feel tied to family, but it could also potentially be tied to work as well for some of you. It's kind of just like there may be something about relationships in general that you are challenging or maybe redefining for yourself. Maybe there are just certain expectations or roles in gender roles or rules in relationships that aren't really aligning with you anymore or haven't really served you. And I think this is actually kind of interesting because it does feel like there's a lot of exciting things happening in your love life as well. So part of me can't help but wonder that maybe you are connecting with someone who maybe is from a different background than you, or might be someone that your family disapproves of in some way. I could definitely see that with Mars in particular squaring off with Uranus. Because Mars can bring some sort of conflict, and it feels like there's this sort of chaotic, or not even chaotic, like an awakening that's happening for you. And it, again, does feel pretty tied to relationships, but it could also be tied to other things as well. Maybe you've just been letting go of a variety of different beliefs and expectations. And again, this does feel very tied to family, which kind of makes sense because this is also still impacting your sense of self as well. We do have the 4 of Wands coming out, and I feel like you are celebrating something. You have either achieved something, or there's just something here that's like making you feel really good in March. Let's clarify. What is this 4 of Wands about? What is this 4 of Wands about? We have the Queen of Wands with the Knight of Swords. It feels like you've been working very hard on something and there's been a lot of passion, and it's like your passion is finally paying off. And again, that kind of makes sense with the astrology because we do have a lot happening in the sign of Pisces, which does talk about romance, but it does talk about passion and creativity too. And, I think that's actually kind of the deeper theme with all of this coming up for you this month. It's a lot of like you reconnecting with passions or desires that for some reason were deemed inappropriate or wrong or taboo. And there's something that's very freeing for you here in kind of reclaiming these things. And it does feel like there's some sort of like, what is it that you're celebrating? What is it that Scorpio is celebrating? What is this Four of Wands? Interesting. Okay. I see. I feel like some of you are celebrating something and it's a pretty big achievement, and then there are people who are almost pushing against it. Like maybe they're triggered by your success, or they're jealous in some way, or they're trying to put you down with the Five of Wands. It feels very childish. This could very well be from family, but it could be other people as well too. It just feels like your happiness is upsetting somebody. Could potentially be a fire sign, Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Might also be connected to a Gemini, Aquarius, or Libra. Someone really wanted you to do something or be something for them, Scorpio. That's what I'm getting here. And I feel like you have found happiness and contentment. You're celebrating something, and that may be upsetting this person. You really are going after the things that you want, or that's something that you're really being encouraged to do, even if there are people who may be offended by that or not understand that. What else do we have for Scorpio? Interesting. I'm going to keep shuffling, but I just saw the Strength card and the Moon. It feels almost like there's a bit of an energetic attack on you, which is interesting, or someone's like trying to send negative energy your way or just thinking negative thoughts about you. Yeah, interesting that the High Priestess comes out as I'm saying this. Almost feels like a jealous ex. Especially for those of you who were married to this person, or maybe you talked about marriage. There's some sort of weird energetic thing, dynamic, and it feels kind of negative to me. I'm not gonna lie. Um, and you'll kind of know if this is for you with the High Priestess here, because your intuition is very strong. Um, and it's like, as you have been doing the things that you love and reconnecting with yourself, you've also been reconnecting to spirit. Your connection to spirit has grown stronger, and you are becoming more intuitive and more discerning. And it feels like there's a lot of people who desire you, is another thing as well, because sometimes the High Priestess kind of represents that forbidden fruit. And, true to kind of your stereotype, Scorpio, there's something a little taboo about you, a little polarizing this month. And it feels like almost this childish thing, like when kids in elementary school pick on the other kid they have a crush on. Like, I get something like that. Or like if someone's just jealous, they'll kind of take it out on you. it feels like there's some very petty behavior around you. I'm not going to lie. And it feels like people want to hate you. I know that sounds weird, but it's like they wish they could like just be done with you. They wish they could just get over you, and they can't for whatever reason. Like there's something about you that's just like it's doing something to them. And yeah, it feels like interesting. King of Pentacles with the Tower coming out here. When I first saw the King of Pentacles, this actually felt like, again, something about tradition and specifically kind of like what your life is supposed to look like, what your job is supposed to look like, what your relationships are supposed to look like. And the Tower does usually indicate some sort of dramatic shift. Oftentimes there is an ending here. Maybe there is some sort of instability, maybe something happening with work. But honestly, I don't feel that as strongly. It feels more like there is a falling away of who you thought you were or who you thought you were supposed to be. Because this Tower has this mask, this ego death. Something is falling away. And it felt like this way of doing things or being things that was either very traditional or just had to function in a certain way or look a certain way. You're kind of letting go of shoulds in your life, Scorpio. That feels like a very powerful shift happening for you. And I really think with this lunar eclipse that we have at the end of the month, there is this kind of epiphany. There is a very big shakeup happening. I'm actually hearing family secrets. For some of you, there could be a family secret here as well that is coming out. Or maybe you are sharing a family secret with somebody. Interesting. You will have to let us know in the comment section if that is you. Because it feels like it's kind of surprising and kind of sudden. What else? Interesting. Oh, yeah. 7 of Cups, 6 of Cups. There are things from childhood that are starting to make more sense, things that have been concealed or things you didn't really clock before. And there's a lot of healing with Temperance that is happening right now too. Interesting. It feels like a lot of you are doing some sort of inner child healing this month. And I think that's also healing your relationships as well. And I want to tell you, it's not as scary as you think it is with the 7 of Cups, because I really asked Spirit, show me something on this card. And I really saw this like this alligator or this sort of snarling monster here. But I don't think it's real. I don't think that's... it's almost like there's this anticipation or this fear about revisiting something or healing something. And then when you do it, it actually feels like a relief. Which is actually quite beautiful. But there's definitely something about a mask coming off. And it feels like there is something that you're finding out about somebody, and this does feel like a family member, where it almost challenges the person that you thought they were, sort of thing. There's like a completely different perspective about this person. But there's healing attached to this at the same time with Temperance. I need more. Tell me more. Is it you? No. Okay, tell me more. What else is going on for Scorpio? Let's clarify this. It feels like there's a lot of things that you don't know about that are really coming to the surface. There's a lot that's being revealed in March. What is happening for Scorpio? The Emperor. I really do feel like there's something either about your father or like a father figure or something with the paternal side of the family that could be coming out. And I was getting that before. The Emperor really is kind of that like stereotypic masculine energy. I'm hearing breaking a cycle. You're finally breaking a cycle in the family. What is this cycle? Ace of Swords. Oh. You are reclaiming your power by speaking your truth and saying something that other people are afraid to say. Because it doesn't feel like this is just about you, Scorpio. It feels like you're not the only one who has been carrying some sort of burden. There have been others. And by speaking up, you're not only liberating yourself, you're liberating other people, whether that's your siblings or I don't know. It feels like family to me. There's something about you just seeing the truth, speaking the truth. I feel like there's been a lot of sweeping things under the rug, and like you're not the only one who feels that way. That's something I feel like you need to hear. Because it's bringing about healing, and I don't think it's just for you. I am curious what is going on in relationships for you as well, because that does feel like a pretty important theme for you in the month of March. What is happening in relationships for Scorpio in the month of March? Show us clearly, please. Okay. Wow, we have the Empress. The Empress represents the planet Venus, which is all about love, beauty, art, expression, and this is really this Pisces energy that is peaking for you right now. I feel like some of you are a creative or an artist of some kind, and that's something that's kind of against the status quo or tradition. For many of you, I also feel like there is just this thing with love and relationships. Like I feel like there's a lot of attention on you right now. And you're just having fun with it. You're enjoying it. And with the new moon in Pisces on the 10th, this could be bringing a new relationship, a new passion. It's a very exciting new moon for you, especially since we also have Mercury and the Sun coming together with Neptune. This feels like there's something very spiritually aligned here. Interesting. 10 of Swords in reverse. It feels like you are getting out of a period of betrayal. For those of you who may have been like single for a while, or you've just felt very disconnected from relationships and passions because of some sort of betrayal or some sort of painful ending, I do feel like this is a month where you are really healing and opening yourself up, because the Empress is all about being open to receiving, being in a receptive energy. And it feels like there is something here that you are finally letting go of, something that has finally come to an end, and it's been like a long, dragged out ending. Maybe something already ended and you've just been healing from that, is kind of what I'm getting. We do have the Page of Cups as well. This often does signify some sort of new connection, or just a very like emotional connection, some sort of conversation that's very heartfelt. There could be an offer that is being made to you. And it's interesting, Scorpio, because I feel like, again, this is more for those of you who are single, but maybe this applies to people in relationships too. It's like you've been afraid to explore other relationships, or maybe you've been afraid to say I love you to somebody because there's been this pain, and it's like it's almost like by moving on, or by starting a new relationship, or going and kind of meeting new people, it's almost like this acknowledgement, like, yeah, something is actually over, something has ended. And it feels a little bittersweet to me, to be honest, because I feel like there's something new here, there's something very beautiful. And it's kind of hard because I do feel like there's also this nostalgic energy for a lot of you, because you did have the Six of Cups and Seven of Cups earlier. What I'm really getting is that like a lot of you are kind of recognizing the way you may have been seeing the path through rose-colored glasses, or things weren't as good as you remember. And that could really be about a number of different things. It could be about a relationship for some of you. It could be about your childhood. But it feels like there is this acknowledgement, and there's something really beautiful here with the Empress and the Page of Cups. But it's like, oh, something is truly over now. And there's kind of just that, like, it's almost like just a tear being shed. You know, it's not like a super painful thing, but it's just like you're moving on, your life is progressing, and there's just a lot of emotions in that, which is quite interesting. And maybe for those of you who are stuck, maybe this is kind of something to sit with a little bit. Maybe this could be why you have been holding yourself back from meeting someone or really connecting with someone on a deeper level. So that's very interesting, and I feel like there's a real calling for that. We have the Magician as well. It feels like you are manifesting things. Maybe you are connected to a Gemini or Virgo energy. We do also have Libra and Taurus here as well with the Empress. It feels like a relationship that you've been manifesting, or like maybe even for some of you, the person you with, you're kind of realizing like, oh, I've been calling this person in. I will say this feels like a little unexpected too. It feels a little out of the blue. Because it's almost like when you forget about something, that's like when the manifestation comes true. When you're so focused on something, there's almost this like lack of trust, and there's almost this fixation, which can kind of be like a barrier. Interesting stuff. This feels like a really psychological reading. I'd be very curious to hear how this is landing for you in the comment section down below. I do want to pull an animal card for you as well, just to see what energies you should be embodying this month. What is the animal? What is the energy that Scorpio should be embodying in the month of March? We do have the bear. This is often a card of coming out of hibernation. There's like a gradual awakening here, and oftentimes there's kind of this grogginess because it's like when you wake up from a deep sleep, it's like you're not just jumping into your day. That's kind of this awakening process. That's kind of this coming out of the cave for you. And it might not even feel comfortable, but it's like the more you kind of start moving, the more you start doing the things that are aligned for you, the easier it becomes. That's something I'm really getting with the bear here. Like, it feels like there's been something that you've had a hard time letting go of, and it's kind of like you're now just celebrating your life and you're opening yourself up to new experiences or unfamiliar experiences that are good for you. What else do we have for Scorpio? We have the butterfly. And I mean, this is actually a very on the nose card to come out because butterfly often does indicate a transformation. And again, you've come out of a cave, you're coming out of a cocoon, you've been going through this internal transformation and now something is shifting. A lot of the time, the butterfly does also indicate a transformation of the heart. So there is maybe a relationship that is changing or something in your relationship style that is changing, your attachment wounds. It feels like there is just this emerging Scorpio, and you're finally stepping into the world and stepping into yourself, and you're being loved as you truly are, and that just feels kind of different. This relationship, this chapter just hits different. And it hits different in a good way. And there's almost like sometimes when you have that, it kind of makes you realize what you were dealing with and settling with. Because I still get that bittersweet thing. But anyway, Scorpio, those are all the messages I had for you this month. I do hope that this gave you some things to think about. I do hope that this was helpful for you. Definitely be sure to hit like and subscribe, especially if you've made it this far into the video. I do have links in the description box for personal readings and distance Reiki sessions. You can book those on my website. And you can also find all of my other social media accounts there as well. I also have a playlist on this channel for all the other zodiac signs, so maybe you want to look at your moon or especially rising sign for the astrology. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care, Scorpio, and have a happy and blessed March.